Welcome to Voice of Immigration. I'm your host, immigration attorney and CEO of OnlineVisas, John Veely. These are 5 things you need to know on how to win an O-1 visa or an EB1 green card in medicine. One of the questions I'm most asked by those in the medical profession are, do I qualify for an extraordinary ability O-1 or EB1 green card? I'm going to lay out 5 things that can help you analyze your situation, and if you don't yet meet that criteria, I'll give you some tips on what to do to meet these standards and win an extraordinary ability visa and work and live in the United States. There are 5 things that can help you understand whether you qualify for an extraordinary ability visa. Number 1, what do you do that's one of the best in your field? So a lot of people tell me, hey, I'm a doctor at a prestigious hospital or a clinic, or I graduated from an impressive medical school. These are important and impressive things. But how do you do your specific process, your method, your knowledge in a medical area? What's your thing? What are you better than others in your field, in your country or in the world? This is the key. What is your specialization? What is your niche? We build from there. All right, so 2, have you been recognized for your skill in your field? It happens that someone may be one of the very best at what they do, but they've never received any recognition. They've been buried in their hospital, in their clinic. They've been doing good work, but they've never been recognized for it. There's a number of visa options that are all about really recognition once you've defined what it is. So let's go through those really quickly. So number 1, national or international awards or prizes. Excellent field. If you haven't been named for one yourself, has your hospital? And was your division of the hospital, your field, the recipient of that or the reason that it won it? You have to connect that dot, but that might be something you hadn't thought about. Being a member of an association whose membership requires outstanding achievement judged by national or international recognized experts in the respective field. All right, this can't just be the association for physicians of your particular field. Those are the things that anybody coming into your industry can get into, not indicative of somebody that's risen to the top. So find those organizations, those think tanks, those organizations that have a threshold, and we need that criteria to establish this, that you've done something of a certain level of achievement, and that important people figured it out and went from there. All right, so has your work been featured in major media or trade journals? Trade journals are often easier to be there. It cannot be local press, but press about you doing what you do in your industry. Have you served in some capacity for the judge of the work of others? This can't be because you're the supervisor of your wing of the hospital or your clinic or whatever, but have you been called in by the local medical school and judged the processes and procedures and thinking, or maybe ideas of some of the students there? Could you be? Those are some of the things that you could pick up that are easy to find out, different places where you could judge others. Have your articles been published in scholarly journals? If so, have you been noted in Google Scholar? Have you been cited? Are you the first author or down a list? These are the type of things that you may have done when you were in medical school. These are things that you could do to write in medical journals. Maybe you haven't thought to do that. You're busy. But these are things that you could pick up if you're able to write and articulate these things. Have you made original medical contributions or business contributions in your field? Was there a patent? If there was a patent, is it in commerce? If there wasn't a patent, is it in commerce? Is it being used? Are others following your technique? What are those things that it's what you've done that's maybe one of those achievements that you'd be recognized for, or that you'd know at a cocktail party, I'm the doctor that did this, right? So those are some of the things. Have you served in a leading or critical role for your organization or establishment? That could be the elite memberships we talked about, or the hospital, the clinic, something like that, some group. Have you done things like other things that you might be doing for nonprofits, but have done some really neat things in those areas? And are you an important person to that? This is where a letter can come in addition to the evidence that shows you're in that organization, that what you've done was important for the organization as a whole. Have you commanded a high salary or remuneration? Maybe you're coming from another country where you were one of the higher paid doctors. We're going to need data to indicate that what physicians get paid in that country, and we have that data in the United States. So if you're at the high end, that's where you go, right? And then there's other comparable evidence. Maybe you've been invited to to speak at seminars, right? Speaking at the seminar or the conference isn't itself a criteria, but it's impressive sometimes. Now, if you're judging the work of others there, you can do it under the judge the work of others, but maybe you're just on a panel talking about some infectious disease or some head trauma or whatever the things that you're specializing in. That is a good thing to put in comparable evidence. So question number 3, can I work for my own company, facility, clinic, or outside my position with, say, a hospital organization or university under the O-1? Well, you can. Under an agent-based petition, you can absolutely do that, and you can have all your different streams of revenue within the profession there. So we're glad to talk to you about that. We hold lots of these things, lots of agent-based petitions for our clients, so that they can, spread out farther than the typical non-immigrant worker that just has one employer. Number 4, if I can get letters from important people, is this enough? No, and that's what we do. We inherit a lot of cases that are just full of letters, right? Letters are not evidence. Letters can help evidence. Letters can help drill down into why an achievement or some of the initial evidence was important and say, this is what this means. Or it can be a reference from an employer under the major contributions or original contributions or the significant work you've done for a company. But just by themselves, they won't work. So what are some examples of evidence that's insufficient? Well, immigration will play gotcha if you try to use certain types of evidence to meet a criteria that's not there. So here's some things that you shouldn't use. Local press, national organizations that are only fee-based, as we talked about, student awards, regional awards, the local company that you're working for, or hospital awards. Those don't count. They can support other things. They can be comparable evidence, maybe, but by themselves, they should not be used in any of those criteria. So these are the 5 things that are important. They're generalizations. If you want more information, go to OnlineVisas.com and set a strategy session. We'll go over your case with you, or check out our webinars. They're about an hour long. They're very in-depth. They go much farther into these things than we have here. So hope we can help. I'm John Veely. I am the CEO of OnlineVisas, and we deliver dreams.